Hey guys, so Mr. Wren, Miss Santarella, and myself realized that last week you guys struggled a little bit with parallel and perpendicular lines. So I'm hoping that this video helps you guys at least just a little bit so that you feel more comfortable with that material. But first I want to start out with actually showing you guys what parallel and perpendicular lines look like. So these are parallel lines. You might have seen this in previous years or something like that. But the key about the slope of these lines is that the slope is the same, okay? So no matter what, and it's always easier to see the slope when it's in y equals mx plus b, but they will have the same exact slope. They will have two different y-intercepts, but the same slope, and that's how we know that they will be parallel. Perpendicular lines look like this when they intersect, and intersect means that they cross each other. It's going to create a 90-degree angle or a right angle. And the thing about this with the slopes is that they're not the same. And if you guys read the notes from last week, they are negative reciprocals. I probably spelled that wrong because I'm really bad with spelling, but they're negative reciprocals. So for example, if we have a slope that has, if we have a line that has a slope of 3, the negative reciprocal of that slope would be negative 1/3. Okay, this is all in the notes from last week. I didn't see much trouble with that from last week, which is really great, but I just wanted to show you what they look like because it's really important to know that these are going to be parallel and they have the same slope, they have the same rise over run, and then these ones are going to create a 90-degree angle and they are negative reciprocals of each other. Okay, so this is the worksheet that you're actually given this week, one of the worksheets that you're given to work on. And the first section here just wants you to use the slope formula to find the slope, and then you're going to tell us if it's positive, negative, horizontal, or vertical. We've done this many times, okay? This is the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You've seen it a lot. You've done it a lot. I'm pretty confident in you guys with being able to do this section right here. Right here, I did the first two problems for you, and this is really going to show you what I mean by the difference of a parallel line and a perpendicular line. So notice these are both in slope-intercept form, and they have the same slope. Remember, the slope is the number in front of the x value. So the slope is 3 here, and we have a y-intercept of 4. And then the slope is 3 here with a y-intercept of 7. So they are going to be parallel. Over here though, if I rewrite this second equation by dividing everything by 4, I get y equals 1/4 x plus 3/4. Technically, this is a negative 4/1, so making it its negative would be turning it to positive because it's the opposite sign, and then flipping the fraction, right? So it becomes 1/4 versus 4/1, okay? So in this section, there might be some that are neither, and the ones that are neither are where they're not the same slope and they're not negative reciprocals. They're just, you know, kind of regular systems, okay? All right, down here, this one's already done for you. We did a little bit of this last week, but I saw some struggle with it, so I wanted to explain step by step what's going on here, okay? So you're given a line, and we can find the slope of the line based off of the fact that it's in slope-intercept form. In this case, the slope is 3, and you're given a point. So you're going to want to use your point-slope skills of writing a line, and then rewriting that line into slope-intercept form, okay? So here is the 7, the y value, y minus 7, equals our slope, 3, times x minus 4, okay? I'm actually going to add something in here super quick right above this. I want to do the generic version of this equation. Okay, let's see. Let's make it a little bit bigger. And I don't really like the red. The red kind of scares me. So I'm switching back over to orange, okay? So again, the original is y minus y1, here is our y1, times m is our slope that we get from the other line, times x minus x1, which is going to be this 4 here, okay? And then we would like you to do the rest of these problems on your own. Let me actually finish what I'm doing here, sorry guys. But now that I have all of that written in, okay, I distribute the 3, so it's 3 times x, and then 3 times negative 4 to get 3x minus 12. And then I'm going to add the 7 to both sides, and just be careful because it's only going to add to the negative 12 because the 3x and the 7 are not like terms. This is an x term, and this is what we call a constant term. It doesn't have a variable attached to it, so we can't combine them. Okay, the rest of these, again, we would like you to do on your own. And then our next sheet that we have here is the same thing, but with perpendicular lines, okay? Again, that's the negative reciprocal. So we see the slope here is negative 5. To make it its negative or its opposite, we're going to take that negative away, right? And then we make it 5 over 1 and we flip it to be 1/5. So it goes from negative 5 over 1 to be positive 1/5 is our slope, okay? And again, we're just going to plug it into that equation. It's going to become plus 1 because this is a negative. Remember, it's its opposite. The 1/5 goes here for our slope, x minus 2. Again, we distribute the 1/5, okay? And then we're going to subtract 1 from both sides. In this case, I made it 1 2/5. Another thing that you could do is make it negative 7/5, okay? If you wanted, you could even do decimals. I prefer that you don't do decimals. I'm not sure what Mr. Wren prefers, but I'd like to have fractions. And I know they're not really beautiful when they're written on a computer because the computer is not very equation happy, but we're trying our best here, okay? And then the last page is just going to be, we want you to use that slope formula again. That's the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to figure out what the relationship of these slopes are. So you'll have line 1 over here, line 2 over here. If they're the same, they're going to be parallel, right? If it's a negative reciprocal, they're going to be perpendicular. And then if it's just two slopes that don't have either of those two relations, that's going to be neither parallel nor perpendicular, okay? And there we are. That's this one worksheet, okay? Of course, if you guys have questions, please feel free to reach out to any of the 3 of us. This is the first worksheet for next week. Let me pull up the next one for y'all. Okay. So the next one is, it starts here. Okay, we have some guided notes. You will receive exactly this. All right, and this shows what systems of equations are. And systems of equations are when you have 2 lines that are straight lines, okay, and they are going to intersect at either one point, or they're going to be parallel, so they never intersect, okay, so there's no solution, or they're going to intersect all the time, which is going to be one solid straight line, and that'll be infinite solutions. And you'll get into that a little bit when you move higher. We would have gone way more into this if we were still in school, but it is what it is. We just want to kind of introduce you guys to the world of systems of equations because they are really important for the future. But hopefully either your geometry teachers next year help you guys a little bit with that, or even your Algebra 2 teachers, it's going to come back. So don't worry too much. We just want to get your feet wet with this stuff, okay? So we're going to ask you to actually print out the unfilled in copy of this so that you can follow along. But as I just said, an ordered pair is one that satisfies both equations, okay? So if we take this ordered pair and we plug it into the example below, if the x and the y value for both equations becomes true, like you see the check marks there, then it is a solution to the system of equations, okay? And this little thing here already talks about what I've already said, but I would like you guys to read that anyway, okay? And then there's this problem here. They want to know if this solution point satisfies these systems, okay? So we have to plug it into both. We have to plug the x and the y in for both of the two equations and see if it works. For the first one it did, but for the second one it did not, and because of that, we know that no, it is not a solution. And same thing with down here. Luckily, we didn't have to do it twice, right? We plug in the 2, we plug in the 4 to the first equation, and it comes out to be wrong. So we know right from there, we don't even need to go on, okay? We'd like you to try these two on your own. And you can pause this now and try it yourself if you'd like. Okay? The next one, we want you to kind of guess and check. There's going to be a way on the notes that you can do this. And if you want to try it, please do. But you can also guess and check if you'd like, all right? We did the first one for you. If we put 11 and 6 in here and add them, it will add up to 17. But 11 minus 6 is also 5. So that is why the solution to this is 11 and 6, because it makes both the problems true. I wonder if you guys can figure out this one. And maybe if you're feeling risky, you can try the different methods that are given to you in the notes, even though we're not requiring that, okay? All right. This is talking about that little no solution that I was talking about. No solution is if they're parallel, okay? This is something that's going to be no solution. I can't take two different x values and two different y values, right? And have the, sorry, not different. I can't take two x values that are the same and two y values that are the same and add them and get both 10 and 11. It won't work, right? 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 plus 3 is not 6, right? Something like that. Or, I don't know, 4 plus 6 is 10, but if we do 4 plus 6, it's not going to equal 11. There's no solution. It's never going to work, okay? Here, if they're the exact same line, there's going to be infinitely many solutions, because I want you to think about if it's the same line, it's going to lie on top of each other. They're going to intersect at every single possible point. We can't just pick one point and say that's the only one. There's going to be a million, trillion, bajillion of them, okay? So that is infinitely many solutions. Any x and any y can be used to make this system true. Okay. All right. Last but not least, we are going to ask you to try to identify it. Okay. And we want to see if you know if it's a no solution or an infinitely many solutions. And again, some of them you might have to simplify. One of them, for example, is this one. You might have to simplify it to know for a fact if it's true. Okay. Again, guys, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact either myself, this is Miss Honecker, by the way, Mrs. Santarella, or Mr. Wren. We are here to help you. We know this is your last week. We miss you guys so, so, so much, and hopefully we can do something special for you in the future. All right. Bye, guys.